Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jay Michaels, and I'm here with an exuberant bunch of guys. Um, there is a play, there is a musical that you have heard of because it's been going since 2010. Can you believe it? Of course, because it answers to a higher power. No, I don't mean Ken Davenport. I mean even higher than that. One uh, we have Kevin Davis with us, and we have One in a Million musical. Now, the logo here has all this great cartoony characters and the word lotto in it, so you think it's all about money. It's not. This is a brilliant piece that is faith inspired. It has already gone the gamut. It has been presented in religious organizations throughout New York for years and years, so much so that it started as a small piece of work. Kevin Davis, the composer and founder, is going to tell us all about that. And then it became an off Broadway sensation, getting wondrous reviews. Then it became a film documentary about the building of it. And now Next Stage Press is publishing this so it can be optioned all across the country. So you're thinking, what's left? Why don't they just stop? No, no, now this is the big moment. This is where they're entering the promised land. They're entering off Broadway. Kevin right now is soliciting backers and producers to take it to that huge step. So I wanted to chat with these wonderful people and talk about this show. Kevin, Hector, Joel, thank you so much for being here. Tell us about One in a Million musical. Kevin, let's start with you, the big cheese behind the production. Tell us all about this.
Well, I'm really excited. Thank you, Jay, for having me. I really appreciate it. And, I guess the whole thing for me started when I looked around and saw there was so much lack of unity in not only in church circles, but in America as well, that you can't get two people to agree on anything anymore. You can't even get two people to talk to each other anymore or listen to each other. So, I mean, there's so many denominations, faith-based denominations. I can't even keep up with them all. There's so many different political opinions. I can't keep up with them all. And people don't talk to each other. So I started to think about how destructive that all is for a society, how we can't go on like this. So I decided to put together a show that kind of shows what happens when a church, a family, or a country can no longer agree on anything. So I chose the subject that we would all know, which is playing lotto, because most people play lotto. But apparently somebody's buying all these tickets. I mean, when we started out, we were thinking about a lotto of $600 million. Of course, now, so many years later, people are talking about 1.3, 1.4 billion-dollar lotto. So we wanted to pick a subject that was central, that everyone could understand. And the element that we wanted to include in this is the fact that there are people that have faith, that people that pray. One thing that I don't see in a lot of movies, TVs, whatever, and there's so much great work out there. But what has been lost is the fact that there are a lot of people that do pray, that do believe that prayer holds a key. So we wanted to, but it was very important for me to introduce that element into the show, that we do pray, that yeah, we're crazy, but we still pray anyway. So I wanted to kind of meld all this together in a way that people could understand the need to listen to each other again, to talk to each other again, and yes, and that prayer is still a part of American life, without criticizing people who disagree with that. That's fine too. But we wanted to show that that prayer is a part of American life and the world's life, and that sometimes you can find common ground through prayer. And we wanted to sort of show all that in this production. So we put it together. I talked to my friend Hector, who plays in my band, and I started writing music. Hector helped me arrange the music, he became the musical director of it. And we've been adding music over the years, and we've gotten great reviews from, we got a great review from great statements from people like Ken Davenport. We've got great reviews from people like Amy Gerwitz. We've got actual reviews from SAG people. So we've gotten all that. We've gotten a great audience response. But as you know, Jay, now we're at the crossroads where to go forward with another production is going to take a big time budget and big time fundraising. So that's kind of where the show is now. And Joel just joined me recently. He was in the last iteration of the show. And Joel's also an associate producer on the project. And he's also an actor in the show. And I don't want to hog up all the time, but when I'm actually really connected with Joel at an airport in where were we? Was it Arizona?
Palm Springs.
Palm Beach. I connected with him in the airport, and we were the only two people in the airport lobby. And I'm truncating the story, but we got a chance to talk and get to know each other because we were the only two people there. When does that ever happen?
What force brought you two people together to be
Yes,
two?
we were at a Ken Davenport event. we were at a Ken Davenport event, and I didn't really talk to him a whole lot at the event because there were a lot of people there. Hi, goodbye. But going home, he was in the airport with me, and there was nobody else in the airport lobby. And that's how we bonded. And Joel is a producer, director, writer in his own right. Believe me, he's got so much going on. I can't keep up with him. But he was not a musical theater person. But I saw something in him, and he came into the show. And he's not a trained singer. He's not a trained dancer. But guess what? Most people tell me that his character is their favorite character in the whole play.
Somebody must be guiding his hand too.
So
yeah,
that's kind of.
I got to say, you brought up something that really struck me. I was watching a movie the other night on Netflix, and I don't even remember which movie at this point, but there was a scene where they were all around a dinner table, and suddenly they took hands and they said grace. And it was like this little tiny moment. It had nothing to do with the film, really. But I took that when I saw that, I blinked and I thought, wow, I don't see that much. I don't see, that's not there. This scene would have been cut somewhere. But so I think you're really onto something now. I think it's in the air, if you will, that we need to be connected to a higher power. However that higher power is to us, we need to be connected that way. It was great, the two people you have here, because you have someone who's been here since day one, and you have a brand new person. Let's go with longevity first. Hector, tell us about your journey within this show.
Well, I remember back in 2010 when we first started, when Kevin first started Wonder Miller Musical, he needed someone to help him out with the music. So Kevin and I had started together with his band, the Jazz Cats, which was an interesting, group of guys. I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't really, I studied jazz in school, but I was always a church player. I was always a salsa kind of player. So I thank God for Kevin for getting me into like the jazz field. And I was able to build more jazz chops. And I guess Kevin and I had a connection because he needed help with the music for the show. So him and I got together, and he shared his thoughts with me. Kevin's a genius when it comes to writing music. I gotta say that. And I think with Kevin's idea and his vision of what he wants, I'm able to put it into an audio recording. So that's kind of how we started the music and the soundtrack, if you will, for the show. Kevin and I collaborating with his melodies and his ideas with all the instruments, and then me laying it into an actual track. So that's kind of like my role, or how we got started with the show there.
That's great. You are the musical genius behind the musical genius. So that's That's really
Uh,
cool.
I don't know about genius, but I try.
Take it.
Hector,
Just
I
take
have
it.
to, I have
Take
to
it.
chime in here. Hector is just a genius. There's not anything this man does not do. I mean, when I say that, anything, audio, technical, he can fix your car or build a car. He can
Oh
build a
my
house.
God.
Um, this man is amazing. He's being very, very modest right now. But yes, he is the genius behind the scenes. Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so we got two geniuses. I just want to check in now with the third genius. Joel.
I'm not sure about Joel though. We're not sure about him.
So Joel, there you are looking for your luggage in the airport.
Yes.
There you are, and this big charismatic guy comes over and says, "Hi, were you at Ken Davenport's event?" And the rest is history. Tell us about your journey. Tell us how it's been for you entering into this huge ongoing project.
Well, Shane, that's so funny, right? We're at the airport, we started talking, and then I remember his last words to me as I left. He said, "Hey, yeah, do you sing or dance?" I'm like, "Nah, I just act." He said, "Well, you know what?" Yeah. He's like, "Well, you know what? You should think about in the future taking some singing classes and dance classes and broadening your horizons." So I'm like, "Yeah, that is a good idea. I've always thought about that, but not really put in mind. So like, I'm gonna do it." Well, anyway, weeks go by, and I'm like, let me reach back out to Kevin, send him my demo reel. Next thing he knows, "Hey Joe, you'll be great for Deacon Lopez, but I want you to prepare a dance and a 2-minute song." I was like, okay. So next thing you know, a week later, I signed up for some dancing classes, some singing lessons, and I prepared a good audition piece. And from there, I got the script. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the character Deacon Lopez. I added some of my flair, the comedy, the dialogue, the music. All of it was just so inspiring me, and it caught me, and it took me to the next level as an artist. And I mean, like I said, the rest is history from there. Everything just started rolling like a snowball effect.
This is to everyone out there. If you're not an artist, imagine in your life someone turning to you and saying, "Could you prepare a dance routine for me right now?"
Exactly.
No pressure, right?
You know, when we all go to our day jobs, we're never going to hear our boss say, "Oh, by the way, do you turn cartwheels?" But it does in this industry. And you know what? The really talented people, of which you all are, know how to do that. Kevin, tell us where we can learn more about One in a Million musical.
Well,
many
you
productions
can go
have been
to
out
our
there.
website.
Where do we go now?
You can go to our website, which has some music samples on, some pictures, some bios on there. It's www.kevindavisproductions.org. I'll say it again, www.kevindavisproductions with an S.org. And I want to like piggyback off something I said earlier because it's so important. Even today, before this, forgive me for waxing political for a second, but it's really about our society. Before I got on, I was just looking at my phone and I could see that once again, the House couldn't even pick a speaker. And this has been going on for forever. It's just another sign of how even among people who are supposed to be unified, forget if you agree with their politics or not for a second. They're supposed to be one caucus and they can't even agree on picking a speaker. So I think as time goes by, this peace of mind becomes even more and more important. That, you know, we learn how to tolerate one another. We learn how to work together. We learn once again how to pray. You know, we learn again that, yeah, we're not going to always agree on everything, but we have to learn how to agree on some things, or else the whole bridge is going to fall down.
Completely.
And who wins in that scenario? I'll tell you who wins: our adversaries. And we all know that there are people who are enemies of this country. Again, this conversation is so apropos today. As we look around the world, what's going on in the world, you have to have your head in the sand to not see what's going on in this world. But who wins when America is not together, is not unified? Who wins? Our adversaries win, and the chaos that's being created now in the world because of that, our own dysfunction is eventually going to, really destroy this nation. So the show really is really an important show that will help people understand that. And we do it with comedy. A lot of times a hard lesson is best sold with honey. And we hope people will be able to look at, quote unquote, these foolish folks who can't agree on Lotto and realize that what we're really talking about is us as a society. It's an allegory. That's why the cast is very diverse. That was by design. It's an extremely diverse cast because it has to represent America, per se. Yes, the people who are in this particular cast, quote unquote, we, as a backdrop, we put them all in the same church, but it's really an allegory for America today. So I just wanted to kind of underscore that. It's great entertainment, but it's also an important piece.
If you look behind the humor, if you look behind the music, there is the notion we spend so much time figuring out how we are different. If we just spent half that time figuring out how we're the same, we'd have such a better world.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I look forward to hearing more about this show. Kevin, give us the email address again, www.kevindavis.org.
No, Kevin Davis Productions.org. That is our website. And I can say that God really blessed me with knowing UJ and knowing Hector and knowing Deacon Lopez. I always call him Deacon Lopez.
He also blessed you. He also blessed you with a name that's easily remembered. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can definitely go to kevindavisproductions.org and learn more about this show. Gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you, Jay.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.